harassing you. I just realized something.
Mr. Harassing with me?
Yeah, I guess
Harass me for what?
because like, okay, when's your album coming out? April 17th, Gnostics? Probably just gonna really be like more so. We'll go over a few things and make sure that we have something to give to the other stewards and everything so that they have some takeaways and everything. But it could be super non-formal and everything like that. Okay.
Hey, hi.
We'll see you soon. I'm so excited to see you.
Me too. Here, I'll show you my face on the card.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the most beautiful. Jungle Flower messaged me and she said that she talked to you and she was just like, I can feel the love that she has for you. And I'm like, oh my God, it makes me so
We all feel the love that we have for each other.
right.
It's so real. I want to cry too. I'm containing it.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny too because like when I told the girls like I'm like okay so this is what I'm gonna do on the Sunday and they're like is it a birthday party? I'm like I don't do birthday parties and they're like it's your birthday party. You could have two people for your birthday party.
Wait, why don't you do parties?
So my thing was like I when I grew up with Joe Witness. So I didn't
Mm.
celebrate my birthday until I got into the mob when I was
Oh,
18. And so like my first birthday party, I was 18 and at a strip club. I was the manager of the strip club. Okay. So imagine going your whole life, no birthdays, nothing. And then you have like mobsters celebrating you for your birthday, right? So like they brought me all these cakes. It said happy birthday money on it. It had like all these different things. It got me all these dancers and everything. It was just amazing. Like bunch of purses, perfume, everything. It was like the greatest treatment ever. I said, this
mm.
is good enough. This birthday right here, this one's good enough. Any
That's
of the
good.
other ones that come afterwards, cool. Like they're fine. But like I literally just went 18 years and just got the greatest lick of my life in one birthday. So I was like, okay, yeah, like I can build up for really, really, really good birthdays. So, but after that happened with the girl's dad, he used to like kind of hijack my birthdays and like use it for like a big party thing and like invite all these people over. And I would get bombarded with all these people I didn't even know. Like the
Mm.
last birthday party that we had at the particular house, I woke up, these lovely Jamaican people cleaned my whole house. Okay. I did not know them. Okay. I did
That's a
not.
lot.
So like the thing was, I was just like, this feels so invasive because like I didn't invite these people for my birthday. Thank you for cleaning my house. But I also like I feel like very like naked right now. Like what the heck's going on? Like you people were in my home, cleaned it and everything for me. And the whole thing that tripped me out was they came to my party and they knew me and I didn't know
Mm.
them.
They know of you, but you don't know them.
Yeah, and that was a consistent thing that kept happening was for the birthdays, people would like have these events and celebrate me, but then I look around and I didn't know any of the people there, but people knew me. And so I'm just like, that shouldn't be possible. Like, how do you people know me and I don't know you? I've never
It's
even met
very weird,
you. Yeah,
especially 12th house sun.
right? Yep. I have like that like energy where I just don't for one, I'm always suspicious of people, but then to be
Yes.
like, oh, wait a second, I have to be suspicious on my birthday. So the last few times, like what I did was I did like a birthday thing with Wave, and like I did music videos on my birthday for like other artists. So, or like music studio. So now I just kind of like do something that's like isolated and just with my select people that I choose, and that's it.
It's
I don't want
personal.
I don't want to engage with like a bunch of people I don't know. I want people to be in my orbit. Like I just want to like deal with people that are like organically in my orbit. That's
Mm. Yeah, so can I say my one-to-one birthdays?
it.
Halloween hijacked my birthday.
That's
And
see, that's
and
a
then
fact.
and then, like it became a thing where certain it just it took away the vibration of being celebrated a lot, and then even having it in Scorpio season makes it really intense. And
Mhm.
I don't think other people know how to deal with that type of energy as well. And so for me, I'm like, I'd rather just be in solitude. And I learned to I've had people celebrate me in my 20s that were more intentional, but it first started by just like having intimate celebrations with self, and maybe just like one friend, or like something that I wanted to do that brought me joy, as opposed to making it like a whole thing. Because anytime I tried to make it a thing, or someone else tried to make it a thing, it always felt awkward or out of place. And yeah,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
and I think it's a time for reflection. Like really, just there has to, even if there's a portion of celebration with others, there has to at least be some space for self-reflection within
Yeah.
yourself and your spirit to like process the rebirth, because it's a rebirth of some sort.
That's so true. Like,
Dresses
yeah,
on.
yeah, they're long skirts. They're the girls, they're wearing
Just
their
like
ribbon skirt, but I don't have a ribbon skirt yet. I don't have one. I don't qualify yet, apparently. I
is
do,
it a tra it's a traditional thing?
it's traditional. I do qualify for it, but I don't like mine. So my elders said to me, mines have to be made a particular way because Bob made theirs, right? But they said that they want me to wait until the community starts to contribute to my regalia. So, like, when you do certain things in the community will then go ahead and give you pieces that you can add to your regalia, right? So, for me, with my work that I'm doing, the elders, they all said to me, they're like, don't touch nothing yet. Wait until you see what is going to come to you from the places that you help. And then that can be your regalia. So I'm like, pretty cool. Like, I can wait. I know that they said that because they'll support me to make my headdress. Because it's literally the headdress is only if you like for the feathers, it's only if you're going into battle. So they're like, you're going into battle. so so they're like, we'll make it for you. So I'm gonna be getting my headdress soon. But the type of headdress that I'm also
Love
going to be
that.
mhm. The headdress that I'm going to be getting though is so I'm going to be putting a technology in my headdress.
Ooh,
Yeah. So I found out
okay.
that you can actually go ahead and put like a system on your body, okay? And this system can go ahead and if there's anything in the air coming towards you or anything like that, it can shut it down right away. So yeah, so we like looked into like the technology and everything. It's military grade, right? Because so like
Oh my God, no one's ever gonna tell me anything else. Like these are the homies.
right? Oh man. So you remember that study that we were talking about, Morgan, with the how people when they would take the substance, they would see those like little people.
People, yeah.
Yeah, so they said that they added more to the study, and they found out that several Southeast Asian countries that are not even connected experience the exact same thing. So they said now that they have that, and now they're doing the isolated thing where you can. What they're trying to do is they're trying to create and induce it for something that's not human, and so that we can visually see like what it is. Like, is it putting glasses on us, basically? You know. So I thought that was interesting because they just added more research to it this like in the last few weeks.
Mm.
I I definitely think that there's like little borrowers. I believe in little borrowers. Look, I'm a '90s kid. Like I grew up where we had like an Indian in the cupboard, bro. Like
Oh,
it's just how the movies were. All our movies, think about it, in the '90s, we had a movie called Honey, I Shrunk My Kids.
yes.
Okay. Borrowers. Okay. There's Stuart Little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still remember that one.
Yep. The toy soldiers.
Toy Soldier.
Okay. And So in the cupboard with Adam Beach, he was in the little white boy's cupboard, and he would like close the cupboard, and then Adam Beach like, hey, you know. So it's like we have witnessed all these tiny things in our upbringing as '90s kids.
Yeah.
Why did that happen to all of us? Like, I mind you, yes, there was like tiny comparisons, Jack and the Beanstalk, my big giant friendly friend in the '60s and stuff. '90s in particular, they had us like focus so hard on these like little tiny entities. There's there has to be a reason outside of the fact that they just figured out this technology. Because Thumbelina is one of my favorite movies.
Me too. And I didn't have it on video, but then it was like recorded on VHS. I tried to record it, couldn't. It was like so hard to access. But I was like, I love it so much.
Thumbelina and Fern Gully are my favorites.
I didn't watch Fern Gully till I got grown, but I was just,
wow. Fern Gully, me and Alana forever. I'll be like, I'm Batty. Like I say that to her all the time, and then she's just like, I don't know where you get this like Robin Williams spirit from. And I'm like, it's what happens when you literally grow up since birth. Just watch pure Robin Williams, and you can just throw an accent out of nowhere. You know what's messed up? Robin Williams, one of his last movies is one of the most fucked up movies I've ever watched.
What's the last one?
Okay, so he has a second last movie that he did that is not the one that everyone saw. Okay, it is a movie where he had a son that went ahead and the son accidentally committed suicide.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, how did he commit suicide? This kid was an asshole. Okay, he did not kill himself like he was depressed. The kid was an actual, even the Robin Williams as his father knew his child was an actual terrible human being. Okay, the kid was whacking off in his closet and strangulating himself for pleasure and died. And so then Robin Williams goes ahead and through the whole movie is then like, everybody hated him before because he has an asshole son, but now everyone's like, oh, your son died from suicide, you poor thing. And then he wrote a letter. He wrote a letter pretending to be the son. Okay. And so like the whole movie, everybody's like, oh, you poor thing, your son died. That's what the whole thing is about. And then it comes out that no, the son was actually a freak and killed himself by accident. And so the Robin's like, oh, I hope you guys are all happy. He's an asshole, okay? He's an asshole. I'll admit it. He's a piece of shit. I hated my son. My son hated me, and he hated all of you. But like, and he's a teacher at the school and everything. So like, it was like one of the worst things ever. And I'm just like,
someone's an asshole. They will still be an asshole.
Yep.
Not in their soul, but like.
I'm trying to figure out someone kills himself by choking themselves and whacking
so,
off at the same time.
So he went, and apparently this is actually something that's I didn't know until I watched this movie. It's actually common that teenage boys do this. Wrap a tie around their neck, put it to a doorknob, and go like that. And then
what's the sensation while jerking off?
Because apparently the lack of air and stuff like that, pressure turns them on.
Just don't know how to channel energy up.
I don't know. But he was doing that, and then he died.
But the whole thing, I'll break it down in anatomically. The throat is Taurus, and that's the axis. Scorpio's dad. So he's just doing the whole thing there.
He's doing a whole death ritual.
The hands too is like the 8th house of Scorpio.
That like honestly, so everyone else's perspective. No. This is he just can't believe. He just cannot believe that this kid did that.
I can't believe that it's possible.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing. Apparently, because when I watched the movie, I was like, kids do this, and I looked into it, and it's a real. Here's the thing, the movie's based on a true story.
Jeez.
Yeah,
insane.
That's the worst part. I was like, whoa. So then I'm like, okay, and then I found out it's actually very common that kids have been doing that kind of stuff, boys in particular. You know, so I was like, what the fuck? And so now imagine me, that's my last like Robin Williams movie. Like everyone else has this other perspective. I'm like, no, like it's kind of like with Heath Ledger. So that's not his last role.
It's not.
No, Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus is. So it's another movie, and in that one, he kills himself in that movie over and over again. But he has a trick in the movie where, because he's a con man, and like he's dealing with gypsies. It's a weird time period. It's like early 1900s, right? Like that time period. But of course, it's fictitious, and so the guy that's like the head, that's the father of this girl that's being married off or whatever, because gypsies, that whole thing. She's about to be married off. He's actually a spirit. He's actually like he came from like the sky. Like he's actually a whole ass spirit. And so he has a deal that he made with another spirit. And he's like, I'm coming to get your daughter at 16 and all this stuff, right? And so then Heath Ledger is this con man. He ends up getting caught up in this whole thing. And there is like this Imaginarium, it's a mirror. And they hop in and out of it, and they change bodies. It's a whole different reality. They hop in and out of this mirror that exists, right? Yeah, it's a portal. And even in the movie, because he dies during the filming of the movie, there's Johnny Depp plays him in certain parts. So different people hop in as him, but in the other world. So they fix the movie like that. It's a dimensional version, but he would go ahead in the movie, he would put like a bullet in his throat whenever they would like lynch him, and the bullet would keep his neck from snapping. So he would put the bullet to keep it. And they said he really did the trick. He would really do the trick. Because it's a long bullet, long piece of metal. So he would swallow the thing like that, and then he'd be hung, and it would stop his neck from snapping. Wow. And they said that's an old cowboy trick, right? Oh, wow. So the thing was, he was doing that, and he was really performing it.
Yeah.
And then he dies during the filming of that movie. Okay. So isn't that a little weird?
It is.
And people said that he had an overdose. But if you watch the movie, you're like, he died in the middle of this movie, and he was doing a hanging trick.
But I also, this is a lot of celebrities like Anthony Bourdain. He was preparing some type of documentary or film on exposing, someone called them the PDS for short.
Have you ever seen the last episode of his show?
No, I have to go look.
See, this is the thing. Whenever you see somebody die, go watch what they did before they died. Oh, like, because people a lot of times they think about, okay, what were they working on? Go watch what he did before he died. He did a ritual. He went to the Philippines and did a death ritual. Yeah, they invited him over. He did a death ritual. The episode's weird as shit. And he even said, like, I feel comforted by death now at the end of it. And he died the next time. Yeah, he did an actual death ritual in the Philippines. So, like, yeah, he was probably doing something, right? He was probably filming something, but at the same time, that's something else that he did. So what I like to like point out whenever I hear about these things, yeah, what are they working on? But were they playing with death before? Yeah, right? So look at Jet Jackson. So you remember the Black actor Jet Jackson, the one that played him, his last name is Lee. Last name's Lee, the Black one that played Jet Jackson, I'm trying to remember, but he committed suicide, right? And they were
Jet Jackson, yeah. Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But people are saying, oh, it's because he got into Orisha and stuff like that. 2 months before he committed suicide, he's in a TV show, and in the TV show, he jumps off the top of the building. So, like, there's a pattern of people playing with death in film. Okay. And remember, film and acting is ritual.
Yeah, it's media,
it's ritual.
Subconscious.
It's ritual. Your body absorbs it. So your body can't tell the difference between what you just did in the film between your actual life. So then it will play it out. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. I think Terrence Howard is saying to like filter out who he is as in a role, a position, because it really influences the psyche. Almost like
You have to
become
cord cut.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting? So, like, because I have the different assets that I made around film, I had to do lots of research into it because I used to do acting, right? And when I act, I can not be myself. And so I was just like, how is that like possible? Like when I do music, it's different than because I can still go into flow state, right? Flow state is different than what I can do acting. Acting, I can put on these blinders and I can become that exact person. So I was like, what's happening? How is that happening? Like, what is this, right? And then I actually like learned is what the Romans and everybody used to do when they created acting. It was ritual. It was not a practice of just entertainment. No, like they were actually convening with spirits and letting a spirit enter their body for the time being so that they could play it out. And then they would do cord cutting rituals after so the spirit wouldn't linger. Yeah. So like once I learned all this, I'm just like, how come we are just so irresponsibly doing this?
Yeah, just like people are irresponsible with music and it's spiritual. You're creating frequency. People listen to them on a loop and it's repetitive and then their brains think on loops.
Yep.
And
yep, that's exactly it. And that's exactly why, like for my particular music, I remember my brother, like when like I started first making music, he like started getting like a little jealous of me and stuff like that. And that's just Libra who he is. So he's just like, he's like, with music, you have to be careful with what you say because it will manifest. And I'm like, dude, you think that I don't know that? Like me of all people, you think I wouldn't know that? I'm doing this shit on purpose. Like if you heard me do a death threat, I mean it. Like I meant it. So it's like you don't have to give me guidance when it comes down to it. Like I literally know since I was born, I've been told about like what happened with my great grandpa. And it was literally where his wife, my great grandma said, I hope you die to him. She told him that, and a plane flew through the house when she went for groceries. Like, listen, my family, when we use that as an example of how powerful the tongue is. We always like none of us in our family play. Well, my brother probably does, but we don't play about that kind of stuff at all. We don't. There's certain things we're just like, no. You don't utter that. You do not say those words, right? You have to have such precision with what you like let go of out of your mouth. That's something that has to definitely get corrected. It's actually very, very messed up how they've screwed everybody over with different time zones.
Oh, there's you know that astrologer does the astrocartography? I love the post she recently made with about the equinox, and she said how time should be based on the connection to the celestial points, and there's some type of figure on the planet that, like, you know how there's like obelisks and different structures like pyramids that will align with certain constellations, and there's just a lot of natural ways that ancient civilizations would measure time, and they would do it based on their location.
Exactly.
And my teacher, he says it's called like true local or true time or true local time. And it's also something that I think we need to start really having as a foundation in astrology that I think a lot of us don't. Like I'm working on it, right? But
it's so like it's 1,000% right though. Like we're literally all like, so the Peace of Westphalia is what created the time zones and borders that we're dealing with right now. Peace of Westphalia. So that's actually like the treaty that Spanish, Germany, Britain, and the French all made. Like all the European countries, when they were at war, they made that in the 1600s, late 1600s. But it drew out all these like different lines. And mind you, Sykes-Picot, they had their own like additions that they added to the map as well that even destroyed like where the Ottoman Empire is, of course, as you know, is across all of the Arab countries. That was the Ottoman Empire. The Sykes-Picot cut it down in like arbitrary ways to cause war in those areas. Yeah. Yeah, because they drew lines between tribes. So like it's actually very, very messed up when you understand in geopolitical society that they use time as a weapon, and not just that, they use borders as a weapon,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they made it so that people are very, very detached from their sovereignty in any way. There's places like enclaves that you could go into in Bangladesh where people have been locked in those enclaves for over 60 years. So there's people where they would go ahead in parts of, it used to be India, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, change the rules. This part here is Bangladesh, this part here. So then you have these little tiny farm pockets. And you're like looking at the map and you're like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense because on the map it's showing me these little tiny things. Who lives there? Trapped people.
So does that mean they're not?
They can't leave. They have no citizenship. They're citizenless. They have, like, as soon as your country goes and moves out of that space, you are no longer even a person.
Even if they were to move?
You can't move. You can't leave. The only way that somebody could go help those people to leave is if you go into those towns and you offer them nationhood and then you pull them out. That's the only way to solve those issues.
Which they probably have to go through the process to get.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And most people speak such foreign languages, and especially in those places, because again, they're different tribes, they're different types of people. Like they have this issue in Pakistan, they have this issue like all throughout, like in those little areas where Pakistan and India and Bangladesh and all those places are having their, all of it, Sri Lanka, all of them, exact same issue all across. And so you're having these pockets of people that have no access to nationhood, no healthcare, nothing at all. And again, it's been going on for 60 years. So you'll literally find pockets of people that have been sitting there for 60 years. They're like, my country left me. And they're just like, and they, a lot of times, they can't even speak the same dialect now as what's surrounding them.
Yeah.
So they're completely isolated. It evolves completely, especially if you're shut out for so many years, right? So when I learned about that, I'm like, how do I provide nationhood for each of these people? Like, how would I do that? And that's like what one of the reasons why we set up the systems in the particular way that we did, that we could go into those exact type of places. Because they even have them in Mexico. They even have these in Mexico. It's the craziest thing ever, because a lot of people don't even understand this when it comes down to northern Mexico is it's unceded land in the United States, right? So there's parts of northern Mexico where people are completely isolated because they're an unceded land. It's not Mexico and it's not the United States. Mm-hmm.
So it's completely different than someone being rural. They would want to be part of the nation. They just got like exiled by default.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So basically, like, say you just have like a farm and you've been living on the border of Pakistan and India this whole time, and then all of a sudden some dickwad came around and said, "Hey, your house is now India," right? And so now you're like, okay, so, but I'm Pakistani, I gotta go back to my family. Nope, you can't. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm Indian. No, you're not. You don't qualify. You are nationless. So then they set these people up in these traps, like these little tiny pockets that they can't leave. They can't figure it out. And the thing is the number one way that they get people stuck like that is a lack of literacy. You know, they target those places where the people do not have enough literacy for autonomy, unfortunately.
You did this why?
It's a genocide tactic. It is literally a genocidal tactic.
It doesn't seem like it's like a murder situation. So what kind of type of genocide is that?
It's paper genocide, because if you take someone rights away on paper, then they'll eventually die. And then also when they die, their descendants could never claim anything, right? Yeah. So yeah, so and then what you're doing is you're basically wiping out an entire family line, right? Once you go ahead and you take the land and you make it so that a person cannot operate on their ancestral land and have access to governing that land, you have now created the perfect situation for genocide, because you now block the person access from their actual sovereignty, which is their land. You know, there's places that you can go off the coast of Chile where people live on these rafts, and the rafts are attached and anchored into the ground, and they live there, right? They have nowhere to live because everything else has been completely taken from them. So now they live on the water, right? One storm, you're done. One storm, you're done, right? But they're willing to at least take the risk because to live on the land, it's so far damaged because of the Canadian mining, right? A lot of people, especially for Chile, they're like, there's these chemicals in the water. There is these chemicals in the food. There is these animals we've never seen before because they're mutations of animals, right? So the people, they're like, it's better for us to go live on the water. So a lot of people that live on the coast go live on the water in those places. That again, that's them forfeiting their nationhood. So there's so many different issues that happen because now you're on maritime law. You're not on this law of the land. It's not the tariff. So like once you do that, you're forfeiting your sovereignty. It's like even like dealing with this non.
That goes for everything in life. Why worry if it hasn't happened yet, right? So yeah.
Exactly. It's just reminding yourself, like, are you safe in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can like remind yourself you're safe and you're alive in this moment, even if you're banged up a little bit, you're still alive. And that's like the most important thing. So I'm just trying to teach her that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully she comes. I'm down to bribe her. Just let me know.
She wants one of the sweaters and stuff like
I
that.
have a sweater for her.
Yeah.
I love you, my darling. I will be in touch soon, and I hope your meeting goes really well.
In the group, some of them will be in it, but they're going to be the ones that kind of make what we're doing a little bit louder, right? Because that's what their gift really is. Keem is one of them, right? So like he's definitely trumpet, like trumpet layer. Yeah. So, but we have other ones like Morgan, who has the ledger, like Morgan, and not just an anchor, like you've been like my ability to keep. Yeah, I love it. Sorry. I love that. And but you've been like my ability to help my brain when my brain gets overwhelmed or too tired. So that's been like the most helpful thing too. And it's also having like the reflection for the work and everything. Like you've been like excellent at that. You've been the person that can be like, this and this does this add up, and then you're like, what about this? You always give like the other version of it, and that's like super duper needed. But it's also too is one of the things is like when somebody reverse engineers success, right? Not too often can another person come around and do the exact same and better, right? And you've done that. So like you've literally reverse engineered what I'm doing, right? And you've added it and you've amplified it. Like I know in no time, you're definitely gonna get like up there in those numbers for sure. And also the thing is like with your assets in particular, I noticed like what we're going to end up doing is sitting down and like pairing your assets in a way where we're going to scaffold them, and that way they amplify each other and make themselves bigger because they're isolated right now, right? So like you remember I said with the trees, like how we have the trees to music, so I play my music at the same time. That makes it a more powerful asset, makes it $1 billion asset instead of a couple $1,000,000. We're going to like do that. We're going to take your different things and start to put the assets together so it makes it something that's cohesive. Yeah. And it'll be super duper helpful to like do that because then you'll be seeing authentic numbers, like the same thing that like Robert saw, like because Robert is just like, this guy has brain technology. It's like, what in the world, like, you know, like it's such a huge thing to have like all of the stuff that you do have to work with. Like, what is the term? The case study. Your best case study. You're the best case study when it comes down to the wealth thing, because like the thing is like when I go to the governments and I say to the banks and stuff, okay, well, this is how a creator works. They're like, show us. And I'm like, well, me. And then they're like, okay, you're just one. And I'm like, no, look, He does it. They do it. They do this like that. And like one of the things that's been the most difficult is, imagine this. I have a lot of friends that have huge followings, right? Take somebody like I'll say his name because me and him are gonna end up like linking up, and I'll figure him out in the first place. Because I remember he wanted me to help him with a record deal like a few years ago, and I was like, you don't want a record deal. Like, I was trying to imply that into, but Treasure, I am Treasure on Instagram. He does TikTok as well. He has hundreds of songs, hundreds of videos, hundreds of TikToks, viral every time he releases something, right? Huge following. And then a few years ago, I saw somebody like put up a thing where they said that he was like worth 25 million, and they posted, he's like, I ain't got no money, like, and he was saying that, right? But the truth is, if somebody was looking at him and actually knows how to evaluate, he does have lots of money because of all the assets he has. It's just he does not know that, right? So, and I've been having those kind of conversations where it's like, dude, like, you're worth a lot of money, right? So I have other creators that are similar output as me, right? But there's something that's happening where it just doesn't click as of yet, and they need to see it in other creators first, and that's fine, because it's going to be inevitably seen. They're going to inevitably have to shift, because they're going to realize, like, wait a second, I've been ripping myself off this whole time, producing so much every single day, and just taking a little sponsorship here, a little sponsorship there, when I'm worth this much, and I could actually be leveraging it at the bank and getting more money so I can make more higher quality, do more things, put money back, and like loop the money into the system, right? So just teaching that for other creators. I have a lot of other ones, but it's very difficult to sit down and say, you got to do the unromantic part. You got to do the uncute part. And that's the paperwork. A lot of people don't want to sit and do the paperwork. Fortunately, like, I just got Jungle Flower to agree to let me do her taxes with Robert. So I'm just like, see, like, it's hard. I'm like, finally got it. Because somebody like her with her photography, look how many books can be made off of that, right? Books, workshops, so much. And she doesn't have to teach any of it. She just has to show what she did, and someone else can do it. Like, suffice it to say that we look at these artists that are master artists, right? And people are teaching about their techniques. They're not alive, but someone's teaching their technique, right? So when you're an artist like that, you have to be prepared to create your assets in a way where somebody is going to go ahead and teach it. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it, because you've created such a volume. At some point in time in the future, you will be the biggest thing. At some point in time. It's the exact same way where I can go ahead and I can pull up a film and be like, oh, well, at the time, Oscar Micheaux wasn't the most famous, but because he has over 1,000 films, I can look him up, and he has an entire catalog that I can look up and realize, oh, he was hidden, right? Alice Guy Blache, she has over 1,000 films. Not famous, but I can look her up, and the work's right there, and it speaks for itself 100 years later, right? Some point in time, someone's going to find you, and they're going to teach about you. And if you did not create the system, they're going to control your narrative. They're going to control your wealth. They're going to control your story and everything like that, right? So it's about you creating the step now. Like I said, it's very unromantic and uncute and not fun to sit there and do paperwork, especially when you're quantifying yourself. Nobody even likes to look at themselves that long. And then you have to do the uncomfortable part and look at everything that you've ever made before. That's not easy. It's lonely. It's a very lonely process to look at yourself in that way, where you're just like, oh, okay, like, I am literally gonna have to sit here and remember the moment that I made this. What did I have to go through to make this? Who was in my life at the point that I made this? What's the different stuff? Who contributed to this? Because you have to create a story around each thing that you made as well. And so that brings you back to that place.
So I have a question with that, because for me, I'm like, I've kept everything like really close to the chest, and I've not put anything out. Or I've like little bits here and there tried to like come out my shell and do the thing, but like I've rebranded my tea business, my herb business, the ideas that I had for it. I was making smoking blends way before they got popular.
Mhm.
And then there was somebody that went and acted on it and added it to their business, but I didn't put my catalog out there like that. And it's like grown so much in popularity now, like so many herbalists and even people that aren't herbalists work with them. And I got the download from Spirit to be like, hey, put this in your joint. And then I started researching which ones have their benefits and why. I wanted something more calming or something soothing for my chest. And it was like really an intentional relationship with the herbs. So I'm like, I have that story, right? But I'm like, there's a lot of things that I feel like, okay, maybe it's not like the same type of art or creations, right? So how do I know what's actually like valid? Like, I know ideas are valid, and I get that standpoint, you know, I can grasp that part, but I'm like, I haven't formed everything. There's a lot of things that are like still concepts or partially formulated, or you know what I'm saying?
A word is enough for a formulation. Okay.
Word.
A word is enough for a formulation. Okay. So always remember the issue is that you're thinking that it had to be complete. But you just told me you did give out blends. I have some of your blends. That's distribution.
Yeah.
Right? So you're already very valuable. It does not have to be plastered online for it to be valuable. Right? That's a very important thing. Another thing is you just told me the story of why you did it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's on my heart. I don't have to memorize it because I know it.
And you know what's really great is you can either transcribe it on your phone, do a video transcription, everything like that. You don't have to have it even written. It could just be verbally done, documented like that, you know. But sometimes it's good to have it pre-written. It's eventually going to have to be written by somebody, right? But even when you're in just the creation phase, and if anybody doesn't have the capacity to like write something down, you don't have to do that right now, but I at least need you to record yourself in some way, whether it's voice notes or something, so that you are leaving some kind of documentation behind that I can use, right? So that's one of the most important things. And also on top of it, like I literally say this all the time, is like people really underestimate what they're capable of. I went to school with a girl that literally had no hands, and she lost her hands in the war in Rwanda. And guess what? She has a book called Waiting by the Mango Tree. And she wrote the book. Okay. She wrote it. And I remember watching her in high school. And you know how she would write it? With her mouth. Okay. So she had the pencil and would write it. And so for me, I see this girl here, one of the most incredible authors, incredible woman, and she wrote the whole book, did everything with her mouth, okay, because she had no hands. So that's why I'm not saying like, oh, because she has no hands, if she could do it, you could. No, it is the fact that like if you have something on your spirit, spirit will find a way for it to come out. And that is the most important thing. And what we have to do is, this is practical manifestation. For so long, manifestation has been brought down to, if you think this, you do this, and you do this, then it's just got to come to you, right? That's not how this new world works. It's not. It's not. Manifestation now has to be practical. And how do you make it practical? So you take your ideas and you create a container for your manifestations so that there is something here to receive it. So all we're doing is building the mechanisms and the groundwork. So everything that we are feeling up here and everything that's coming through our mind, all this energy and everything, has somewhere to land. And that's the practical like measure of it, of having the ideas where, okay, if I have my different blends, okay, do you have a store in mind that you want to sell it at? Right?
More like a website.
Websites.
Maybe some store shelves.
And we have the Tink crystals, right? I would love to do it like that.
I want to ask about.
Yeah. Okay. Ask me away.
Well, just like what is the vision you have for it, and like how much do the girls like? What is their vision? Because I know they're the heart of it, and then also like what can I bring to it? Because like I do have a specific idea that I take with it, and I have charts for when I came up with that idea, like an
Yeah.
astrological chart with the name of it.
Mhm.
And I think I've told you about them, the treasure chest.
Mhm.
So like just like I've written poetry about it before I got the idea. And then I got the idea when I had the crystals. And then I was like, okay, well, we need more than just working with these crystals. And we need to appreciate kind of like their story and their form, like what they're made of. And
Mhm.
I think the children need them more
Yeah.
than us adults.
Okay, so catch this, Morgan. In 2017, hi Mackenzie. I
Sorry, I'm getting a little one to waste some energy, but I'm listening.
okay, perfect. But okay, so in 2017, I had a dream. I sound like Martin Luther King, that all rhymes. But so I had a dream that I was walking into the store and the front of the store said Tink Crystals. Okay. It was blue and pink and like baby blue, baby pink, right? And then when I went into it, I saw my daughters older. Okay. There was tarot decks, books, educational books, all kids books that like they wrote, different kids and stuff like that wrote as well. It had treasure chests holding crystals. All crystals in the store were all tumbled and shaped to hearts. Every single crystal was shaped as a heart. So, and there was things like Dr. Zebi cards. There was things like so like little information cards that you can give out with Dr. Zebi and stuff like that. So like there was so many layers of it. And I remember going in there and I'm just like, okay, do you need help with anything? And they're like, no, 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 don't worry. This is ours. And I said, don't touch nothing. And then I'm like, okay. And then I woke up and then I looked up Tink Crystals. It doesn't exist at all. Right. And I'm like, okay, like, am I supposed to make this? So that's been the formulation of it is I know I'm supposed to create and set up everything. So down to the coloring books. So basically everything that would go into the store, we start building now. So the kids start writing their books just not too long ago. They're going to get their books into the store. Morgan's books will go into the store and all the different things. We start collecting the different resources of the crystals and everything, and we start doing the tumbling. I have tumbling machines that we're going to be getting. So I want you to look at Teen Crystals as this is something that we can launch in the next 5 to 10 years, and the kids will be taking it from us, but we are putting the ingredients in it for now.
I love that. And I have my crystal inventory that I want to just be like, this is something to start with. And like, it could be to play and craft and see where the vision takes us.
Yeah.
And side note, I always wondered, why do I have so many heart crystals? Like,
it's so amazing. So she, like, when we went to go get the cats, went to her house and she started showing me the treasure chest of crystals that she had and heart shaped and everything. I was like, oh, like, this is my dream. Like, oh my God, like, we're supposed to make this together because this is the interesting thing about the dream is there was two other ladies there. Okay. And I'm just like, okay, but it was, they were helping with it, like helping with the creation of it, but I didn't have the information at the time. I just knew it was two other entities. And so further along that we get is like, I see you and Diva. So I was just like, oh, okay, like maybe she could do her art and like we can get her to do coloring books with ball and stuff like that.
Clay, like my mom is like a crafter and a molder and she like carves in wood and she's like really good at like crafting and creating all kinds of things.
Yes.
She would do like construction. She's repaired construction and even like left hanging with people that just did not know what they were doing with our house. And she's YouTube university and like went and like completed drywall. And
she's amazing, just brilliant. And that's the whole thing is like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this can be where our passions go. So like one of the things about each asset, I want you to remember, this is already the life we're living in each asset. We're already living each of these things. It's just their expressions and different dreams and goals coming at different times. So like having the assets actually be what you want to do is what you're going to do in the first place. So now you have formulation of where you're going to go. So you're sitting here with being depressed and hard on yourself because you have all these crystals and these crystal hearts building up and treasure chests building up and herbs building up. And you're like, I don't know what to do with this. you now know what to do with it. It's going to come a point in time where you can put all these things into this, right? We start counting, we start delegating things from now so that it's built in 5 years and that's created and it's ready. But we know that literally our assets and our master ledger is just a reflection of who we already are. It's really like, even like for some of the stuff that I put down, the reason why we have the planes is because we're going to need them, right? The trains, because we're going to need them, right? So for me, like one of my first asset that I put, that was before I put anything else outside of the hospital, okay? Because the hospital is something since 2015 that I've been set on. It was having a children's hospital. I said by 2025, I'm going to become wealthy enough to have a couple of children's hospitals. I kept saying that to myself in 2015. Everyone's like, oh, you crazy bitch. And I'm just like, you wait and see, right? But the thing was, I created a piano and I'm like, oh, like talking to the AI, I'm like, can I soup it up? Like, I want an expensive piano. Can I, like, what if I make the piano $20 million worth piano? And it's like, that's an asset. And I use it for my music. So then other people can come and want access to this high gadget piano that looks like an older piano. It's going to be in my silhouette shape. And so they come to this piano to play it and everything. It can record you. It has all the tech and everything like that in it. But it's taking something as simple as what I use every single day as a piano, soup it up, and knowing, yeah, this is going to be an asset. I can have this add to my life every single day.
So something that came to mind is, I know that North Northern Pisces and with the shifts that we're going through in what we call alternative medicine is original medicine, right? And music, frequency, there's so many oracles, there's so many, like, so many of us that have been saying like that sound frequency is going to be the new medicine. So like, would that be something that you're going to have within the hospitals?
Yeah, you know, it's one of the things that I wanted to implement, and we put it down. So like the neurofeedback and the binaural beats that Morgan does, all that's going to be installed in everything, right? Where people can use it and they're not operating heavy machinery, obviously, right? Because you know, you don't want to. But the thing is like, outside of that, Jungle Flower is going to have a bunch of domes and stuff like that that we're going to put globally so she could do her sound healing. But like any of our mediums that support in that way, we just send people out. Like I said to you with Hakeem, like for him, because he does the DJing, I can get him to go do DJing and help with choreographers for the schools, the dance schools for children, right? So each thing has like its a way to access the sound healing, you know? Yeah.
It's so multidimensional.
It's exciting because the thing is like I said, okay, this is just permission. This is just permission. And to just remember that we are giving ourselves permission to like live our lives out in full. And that's all it is that we're doing. Is it's just, okay, I need permission here, I need permission here. You remember I said everyone went to Robert and was like expecting that he had like some magical permission at some point in time, right? But he doesn't hold that. And a lot of times what he would have to do with me is he would have to literally say to me like, I can't do it, but you can. Like he would just have to use that with me, like, you know, like I might not be able to, but I know someone who can. He would do that all the time because it took me a while to realize, like, I'd be like, you know, Robert, I want some cars. And he's like, okay, so should we buy some cars? It's like, oh yeah, it's my money. But I know, oh my God. I'm thinking maybe we could do some hummus.
Eat, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I want to eat too. We're gonna eat. I'm gonna keep this still going though, because yeah, we'll most likely be chatting still, and I want to make sure that I cover everything.
Yeah, my ass hurts just from sitting on that chair. Something cushion.
That's fair. You stole it. You steal it. You give that back to your mommy. Just give that back to your mommy. He's so cute. I was literally just talking about how you had to have him walking with a leash for the last little bit and how well he's been doing since. Oh,
The
like,
leaf definitely helps. He stops to like see everything. Everything. The back of cars, the ground, he'll want to play in the sand on the ground.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Like it's so funny. I was literally just talking to Morgan
We're
about it.
not going back outside.
I said to Morgan how you had him on it for a little bit and he's already like showing progress.
Yeah, even on Friday, they said at daycare he's been doing better with like hitting and like less aggressive.
Like having a leash is actually progressive parenting.
Like, don't judge me, people. He's a runner.
You bobbing and weaving for traffic.
Yeah.
Remember the video I showed you where the guy said that he saw the traffic and wanted to run it like a gazelle?
That's Danny Boy. The first 3 times we're wearing the leash, he went to go run with the car. We're not going back outside, baby. We're not going back outside.
He scaled a fence at daycare. He is that guy. He is that guy. Oh my goodness. What is this?
He gives them a run for their money.
Don't make me cry. Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
behind it or something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh my
Someone
goodness.
told me like just bring them. I'm like, I don't have 35, but like we have
You're good
3
that
and
way.
5.
Just breathe. I don't know.
She's in touch with spirit. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. You bought me my probably like 3rd birthday cake in my life.
Which color do you
3rd?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel special.
like you could do like you could
Or
use
just
like
stick it.
3 and 5, it would be like 8, like the numbers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do I like light it like this?
Oh yeah. It's a good idea.
It's interesting how the numbers are facing each other.
I know.
Like they're like face to face, they're talking.
Okay, guys, ready?
You sing?
Oh, hold on.
Are we gonna sing?
Hold this. You can hold this for my
Yeah,
kids.
knock yourselves out with the singing.
Oh, no, I don't have a singing voice.
I don't have.
I just don't feel like it.
It's okay. I don't need singing. I'm so
Put that
happy.
in that place. I'm looking for much more people here.
You're amazing. All right, I'm gonna do my big wish. Okay, guys. Oh snap! I get to do the wish.
You get to make, yeah.
Oh, I love this. Oh my goodness.
Oh, birthday hats. They're
Taylor
so
made it.
cute.
Who made this?
Plant-based.
It's so
Plant-based
pretty.
Can you tell her that she's like one of the greatest humans and also the best sister ever? Because she's also my sister. He's my dad now. I've like claimed him. Right? Oh my god. Okay. That's the best. Yeah,
So
you can tell her she gave me
beautiful.
my 3rd. Like I said, like my first birthday cake was from the mob. Yeah.
What was the second?
My second one, it was like was really bad. Is this there was a host stole my cake. I just remembered. Sorry. But like I just remembered I had
That felt so innocent.
it's right there. It's just a language. It's the same thing even like with like everything that we're working on. Like this whole practice of wealth and everything, people think it's godlike to then access wealth. But it's actually a language. And then when you learn the language, then it becomes more easy. Like I said a few months ago, I lost this page on Facebook and I've been trying to find it so hard. And like my photographic memory is not working to find this page. And I've been so frustrated. Like, you know how sometimes it pops up on your Facebook and then just disappears? A post popped up and it was a person sharing, they said that they understand the finance mechanics and everything. And once they did that, their net worth is scary, right? And the entire section was people studying Black's law, trust law, and everything like that. And they said, yeah, I actually now understand how net worth works. And now I have a ridiculous net worth. And everybody was conversing. And then when I went to click it, my stuff refreshed. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm not supposed to see that right now, but I was supposed to see a little glimpse of it to see that there is other people out there that speak this language, and they're also going through this like momentous time of like, okay, well, I have all this, but what am I supposed to do with it, right? But
Did you follow those?
I didn't follow the page. It just popped up on my thing.
That could come back around.
It could. It could.
You're already well ahead of where you need to be.
Yeah. I really wanted to see it because I also wanted to see like, okay, what did y'all do? Like, you know, but what it looked like was a group of people trying to figure out what to do next after doing something like that. Right. So that's what it appeared to be. So I was like, I wish I saw what it was, but I at least know something like that is out there. And to be honest with you, that this is literally why I was like even saying like with the Rupert Murdoch thing earlier, this guy, he's such a dick. Like to put your family through all these hoops and stuff like that to access money when
Give me an example of that. What kind of hoops did he put his family through?
so basically he's making his kids have to go do shitty jobs to earn so that they can access money from a trust that their mother put aside that's only at 100 million. He doesn't give them any access to the money, period. The mother had to go fight in court to get 100 million. Mind you, he understands wealth mechanics so much, I can guarantee he's a trillionaire. I can guarantee, but he just puts it in trust and then it's protected, right? And then he would never have to claim it, right? But the man owns all the TV networks, all the news outlets, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, NBC, all these things, right? And now his kids are in Succession. And mind you, the show Succession came out. His kids were watching it and they're like, holy shit, our dad didn't do this with us. They're watching a show that's supposed to be based on them and realize their dad didn't do what's in the show.
Sure.
Succession. He never made a succession. He never made anything for after him. He said he doesn't want to talk to anyone about dying. It's like, you dick. You have to. Part of creating your wealth is making sure what's left behind afterwards. He does not show them how wealth works. He has not explained it to them. He hasn't taught them anything about it. The kids are completely confused. And it's almost like watching people that go on those reality shows to fight for $1 million in the house. That's what his kids are like.
But is he also trying to make a point that the kids would be good even if he's gone because they're living off his name?
He doesn't want them to be good. He wants them to earn it, which makes no sense. He's saying it's out of tough love, but his dad, here's the thing, his dad is the one that taught him everything. His dad is the one that used to be, like his dad was a kingsman. So his dad would go ahead and be a journalist and sit with kings and princes and then do their media, so narrative. That's what a kingsman is, right? So he's doing that, and then he taught his son everything he knows. And now his son's this big entity, and he does not pass it on to his kids. And that was the issue with the first wife. She said, yeah, he's not passing it on. I need to get some money. She fucked up because she asked for 100 million. Because he's way worth more than that. You could have got way more. Now they're fighting over 100 million when the guy's a trillionaire. And they do not understand wealth mechanics at all. And they're trying to get into different businesses and trying to do certain things and damaging the economy because they don't understand. And they have way too much weight to be moving around and not understanding what they're doing. It's kind of like how Larry Ellison, his kids, he's taught them a little bit about it, a lot, like, right? In comparison to Murdoch. But you're seeing them go and buying Paramount, buying all of Hollywood, right? And there's a Zionist agenda behind that, of course. But the thing is he taught them certain things and they still do not understand their weight. There's certain things that people that have these net worths over 400 billion, you should just be showing your kid, like, you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to be out here and exploiting and extracting from the world. We could do things like this, but you're sending them loose, full extraction, full able to take whatever they can from people. They have the mechanics to do it, but you aren't saying to them, actually, no, you don't even have to do that in the first place. So that either tells me you have enough, and it's also enough to hold you down for the rest of your life if it's positioned properly. But that tells me you either didn't position it properly, right? You don't care about secession like a Murdoch, because he said he wants nothing to do with, he doesn't like to talk about dying. He wants to live forever. He said he doesn't want to talk about dying. So now his kids are like fighting. They're like, oh, well, he's going to die. Well, so what are we going to do? You know, and they're fighting each other very publicly, putting each other's business out there, tanking their businesses because they have stocks. So you have all these shareholders and stocks, and your kids don't understand that they could chill out, and they're going out there and damaging everything. So your business is going to be done. Your business is going to get wiped out because now your kids do not have the longevity put in place to hold it through to the next generation, because you just made them fight over crumbs when that wasn't, your father didn't do that to you. Your father gave you all of the mechanics. He explained to you how publishing works, how publications, assets, all of this. That's why he has all of these TV conglomerates and all of these different networks, is because his dad taught him that. So why now you're freezing the knowledge when it comes to your kids? And then on top of it, remember, he left, well, if you don't know, he left one of his wives and then he married Wendy Dang. Wendy Dang is basically, everyone says she's like a famous gold digger. Okay? She was literally sent to clear him out. He's married to her. So Asian woman, old white man, you can see he's like twice her age, crazy shit. Okay, so basically now somebody has come into the system and she's going to take everything. She already has. Okay, so now he screwed up, didn't make sure his kids were good. His ex-wife went ahead, put $100 million trust for the kids to divide amongst her and them, and it's like four of you splitting $100 million, and this man's a trillionaire. That's not necessary. None of those things are necessary.
He thought was like losing love, like a metaphor saying hard times create strong men, and then like strong men create, I don't know, something where the next generation they have opportunity, but then the weak ones they create hard times because maybe their parents gave it to them easy. I know I'm butchering the saying,
but I see what you're saying. I definitely can see that. I can. It feels like
that.
It feels like he thinks it has to be some kind of tough love, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then when you see, like, for me to see so many adults fighting in order to access their father's wealth, and they're being told it's a small percentage, okay? It's like, here's the thing. Michael Jackson, he said that when he would sit in his meetings with Columbia Records, they would go ahead and they would throw all the numbers around him. They thought he was too stupid to hear what they were saying, right? And he said, they literally thought I was so stupid. They said that I make 400 million a year off of my songs alone. And they think that I didn't hear that. And he said, so I bought the catalog. Because if I'm making 400 million a year, I can make that money right back. And it crushed them. It crushed them. But it's the whole thing of, we should be sitting in a room with infinite knowledge, like knowledge that can shift things. And we're speaking above people in a way where we think that they don't have the capacity to do something with the knowledge that you have. You're supposed to do a transmission of information. You're supposed to. It can't stop with you. When you do that, you're stopping any growth that's supposed to happen, any accumulation that's supposed to happen. You have to pass it forward. It's just part of keeping life going. If you stop it and you stagnate it, that means to me that you don't want life to keep going. You want it to end when you end. That's not right. You can't live like that. And too many billionaires and wealthy people do live like that. They think when they die, the world's going to die with them. That's not how it works. This world is going to be around forever unless somebody blows it up, and nobody's had enough to do it yet.
One of the most common things people do is something like extension, right? But it definitely
it's not the only thing.
Definitely not. But I feel like
creativity is an offspring too. All forms of
but
expressions are offsprings.
I feel like I think, and to that point, I think he thinks that his networks and everything that he's made is his legacy to leave behind.
Where did it go to the same, like people, like I have a friend, he and his wife have been married for what, 20 something years now. They have no plans of having children. Just never cared about doing that. It's like it stops here with us. That's it. So that's it. You don't want any offsprings? Nope. We'll just have a few dogs. That's it.
I know a few people like that.
Could that be the same thing with wealth?
It feels like it. And that's what's heartbreaking at that point, to accumulate that much wealth. But it also shows you, I can name 10 people like that are worth over 300 billion. That's scary. Because what the fuck happened? Why is it you guys became this like percentage? The people that don't care about legacy are the ones that are here in control of legacy. That's nutty. And it reminds me of remember I was telling you about Fawn Weaver from Uncle Nearest, and how she had now they're pulling it up with her books. They were saying that she messed up on the books, and now she's saying no, she's not the one that messed up on the books. There was a loan that was given to them, and it was the person prior to her, and somehow that loan ended up in Jay-Z's bank account. Okay. So okay, if I give you a loan and it's for your business, it's supposed to go towards your business. It's not supposed to end up in some rapper's bank account when he's looking for a $20 million loan at the same time. Right? That's really bad. So it doesn't look good. But she's the same one, Fawn Weaver. She has a whole thing of her speaking about how she doesn't believe in leaving a legacy behind.
Why so?
She says she doesn't care, which is nuts to me because she works for Uncle Nearest, a legacy brand. So what, you're just going to insert yourself in his legacy? So I don't understand that. And when she said that, I was like, there's something off about that. Because a Black woman that just became a billionaire that just says she doesn't care about legacy, I fucks with her because of what she's done. You know, she flipped the company. Uncle Nearest is the one that was the recipe creator for Jack Daniels. Okay, so Jack Daniels, his business partner is Uncle Nearest. So they're basically taking the originator and making the company for him, right? So that's the legacy that she's working with. Okay. But again, you're working for a legacy company. You just say you don't give a fuck about a legacy. So you don't care about your own legacy. That to me is, I'd be suspicious of that, because that means to me that you don't care about what you do and what you leave behind and your impact. Okay. Because a strong part of legacy is also your impact, what you've done to the planet and the people and the animals and the life here while you're here. And that's very, very important. People don't factor that in. They think everything is about what I thought, what I think, what I said. No, what did you do? Like, what implications and what impact have you put in place? And if you don't have the capacity for that, that makes me very nervous. It makes me feel like you're about to go do something very, very dangerous. Like put $20 million in someone's bank account that wasn't supposed to hold it, you know, stuff like that. In my terminology, and I think many people call it, that's a crash out. If you don't care about your legacy, you're a crash out. You're literally a crash out. And that means you're a walking $1 billion crash out. That's scary. That's even scarier. So that means that you could get access to loans, you could get access to funding, you have doors open to you, and you can do whatever you want with that. And so you're entering billions of dollars with $1 million frame of mind and no idea how to hold something that large, right? Something that large has to have a custodian, not someone to use it. Wealth at that size has to have a custodian, you know? And if you have no capacity of being a custodian in any way and serving something that's bigger than you, then you shouldn't be touching that kind of money, because you're going to cause harm. You're going to cause harm. And unfortunately, it is what it is. A lot of people do cause this harm and they do these things. But yeah, it always makes me nervous. I'm just like, damn, you don't want to leave nothing behind? You want to do nothing for what's after you? Like, is that an obsession with yourself? Because yourself doesn't continue after 100 years or so.
Some people can't think beyond that, though.
I still have to align to it, though, right? And I think that requires like being in that state of awareness
Well, you know what the thing is too is alignment is actually getting out of your own way, right? Who's listening to your thoughts? So there's an existence that is perceiving your thoughts, right? There's an existence that's receiving everything, right? So then once we quiet, that existence still is there, right? That's you, right? That's the one with the will, right? So once you kind of just get out of your own way, you align with that. That's the real thing. A lot of times we're stuck in what we identify with and our thoughts and our accumulation of what our life has been and our story has been up until now, right? But that isn't who you actually are in this moment as the safe person that's here, that it has full autonomy, full control. A lot of people don't even stop for a second to realize, like, look around. I could fuck some shit up right now. Like I could really do something right now. Not a lot of people stop to even do that. They don't realize like I could actually stop and I'm the person that has full control in this moment if I really wanted to. You know, not a lot of people sit and pause themselves to realize how much control they have in each moment. Because our thoughts keep distracting us from that will. The babies. He's carrying him on. You know, like I have a few elders that I go to, but she's like the most helpful one. She's the one that told us like one of the best lessons I think, Mackenzie, that we got from her was the 5 year. She said to us, it's not what happened to you in the last 5 years, it's what happened to you in your first five. And anything before that. So your ancestors.
First 5 like
So the first 5 years on this planet develops your survival mechanisms, and it's what you'll use for the rest of your life to survive.
But that would like 0 to 7, but that makes sense.
Yeah. So like a lot of times people, when we think about our problems, we think about what happened to me in the last 5 years to cause this, to do this, but we don't realize those problems actually started there. Childhood. So once you actually then sit down and say, okay, last 5 years, this happened to me, and I had this type of relationship and this dynamic, and then you go look at your 5 years. And if you don't see it in your first 5 years, like for myself, I found it in my ancestors. That's why she said 5 years or before. So like I would kept ending up in these relationships with people that were like trafficking me. And that would always be a thing where I'm like dating somebody and then they're like, wonder how much money I could get out of this, right? And that was just a common thing. It wasn't until this relationship I'm in right now that wouldn't even pass his mind. And he was so insulted when I like brought it to him. I was like, so, you know, you wanted to try to like pimp me out now or something? And he's like, what kind of person do you think I am? Like, I just like, no, not at all. Yeah, it's a completely different energy. But the thing was, then when I go look at my ancestors, I look at my great grandmothers, all enslaved, you know, and enslaved by partners. Okay, enslaved by their own husbands. Okay,
I've been thinking how marriage. I have a lot of bones with it.
Marriage, especially, people don't know romanticism didn't even start until the 1200s. Think about that. If romanticism is a new genre, what does that mean? And the thing is like they said before, marriage was just an arrangement. It wasn't actually out of love. That was a foreign concept before, to marry somebody out of love. Like you would do that? Like, ugh.
So like contract is Venus, doesn't have the sun is love. It's unconditional.
It's very messed up. Marriage has a lot of things. I want to get married, like do like a whole wedding and stuff like that, like with my man and everything.
So many things. So I remember when I first knew about Energy, and wasn't there like you have the online thing where you can go and do it free every day, or was there just a part of that?
That was part of it. That during COVID, I set up something that people around the world could use Energy simultaneously with each other. So that like my whole thing is, what if a bunch of us went online where Energy was available, where we can all listen to it at the same time? What would it do to us if we were able to listen to it in real time? How would that affect us, and how does it affect us from individual to individual? It's just hard to get that many people to do a meditation session like that globally online. So I worked it up until I was able to get 100 people. It was so hard to get people to whatever, because not everyone shares that kind of vision, or anyone, not a lot of people believe it. So
if I'm correct, I think that's when you also had some type of meetings on Zoom. I think I came to at least a couple, but not too many.
The site be on site?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not
there's a
sure.
number of things online with Zoom.
Yeah.
I was just trying to remember which one.
I don't know, because
But there was some Unity ones from Zoom, yeah.
I just know that like the Unity website, you can go and there was like a time of day where you had to tune in, but I didn't have headphones, and it was such a silly thing, but like it was such a resource access. And like sometimes things happen like that. Like maybe it's not the right time. Maybe a part of my consciousness wasn't ready or something.
Well, that'd be true for most people. It's how do you accept a new idea? Not most people are going to accept a new idea right away.
And it's
Some
also,
people has to sit.
remember what you were saying about how smart the brain is too, right? Like the brain's gonna like actually know when it's ready.
There's that too, the rightness of the brain.
Sometimes it tries to protect you.
Your brain's incredibly smart. And like a lot of the stuff that you're going through is because your brain is permitting it, right? And your brain is like saying, oh, well, you can go through this. Don't worry. There's something to gain through this, right? Or there's something that you need to lose by burning this all down. So your brain will assist you in many ways to make it happen, right?
Yeah. I would love to do it. I just wonder if like I'm like I already have things that have come to surface. So I don't know. My only thing is like, is it going to bring up things that have to be?
There's always more.
There's always more.
There's
You are
always
a
more.
fountain of knowledge, of all universal knowledge.
But the more that you go through it, the more that you will build the tenacity to go through it, right? Right. And like the more that you are exposed with your own reflection, and your brain gets a reflection of itself, the more the brain actually knows how to work on itself. Like that's the most helpful thing with the energy and the neurofeedback.
That's one way to look at it. A lot of people would say, "Oh, I already can do A, B, and C." I'm like, that's great, but there's more.
You know the movie Limitless and the TV show Limitless, where they take the pill, they take the NCT pill. So for them, they take it, but the show keeps showing us dumbasses take the pill, and then we see what they're like.
What they're like, yeah.
So now imagine somebody that works like you, highly intelligent. You have all the skills. Okay, everything that you have and everything that you're doing is right there. So then, what happens when your brain starts to look at itself? Right. So it's going to be a whole different thing. You're highly intelligent. It's basically you going on a limitless pill, and you have now access to everything that's in your brain. Like that's the most helpful thing, is because a lot of stuff I didn't have access to.
Let me add to that, because I like where you're going with that. Okay, they say there's 8 types of intelligence, right? Cognitive intelligence. Well, let's break it down. Really break it down. Mathematical intelligence, linguistic intelligence, emotional intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, spiritual intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence, and the list goes on, right? Just say you're really, 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 really good at 1 or 2, right? Listen to all the other ones that I named off. None of those are being touched. Now, what if you realize that I can tap into 3 or 4 or 5 more of those type of intelligence? What kind of individual am I? You start to realize yourself. You start to realize your potential. That wasn't just the 1 or 2 intelligence. I'm all these things, and then you're slowly becoming aware of more of these type of intelligence and more. So when people say, "Oh, I have enough of this, enough of that," until you realize that you are the creator itself, I don't want to hear shit. Right? Because if that hasn't been the realization, it's not the whole thing.
P.S. When I was referring to like bringing up stuff, I meant like maybe like
you're talking about like trauma, dark shadows, and things of that sort. Of course.
I'm like, I've had so much of that work. I'm like, I need the light work. I definitely know that that's not done either, but
you don't even know what the work is until you get started.
You don't know what it is.
You have no idea what the work is until you actually get started.
Right.
Yeah,
but everyone has that work to do.
Remember,
a lot of people may have done a lot of it already.
Remember, all this just started because I said to you, I'm just like, maybe I should be my own lawyer. And you're like, well, a few sessions of this you could be. And then like that was my first session, right? And then like when he said that, I was like, why can't I study law? So then I looked it up, I'm like, wait, I could study law. Like, I'm actually very good at
Actually
this.
a real thing.
Yeah, and then I looked it up, and they said that I would qualify for like just 2 years, and then I could become a lawyer. And I'm like, what? Like, I start looking into it, but different things arised for me when I started the neurofeedback and the pairing it with the energy. But different things was arising for me because I thought, oh yeah, like I faced a bunch of stuff. I don't like the trauma's gonna come up, and this. It wasn't necessarily that. It was the fact that I didn't do my accounting for like 5 years, stuff like that. I didn't quantify myself. I didn't look at myself.
I also didn't do my accounting for 5 years, which is why.
Well, just imagine that by not doing your accounting, what that can stop you from doing from that level, from that individual financial level. Just that little thing stops me from doing A, B, and C, whatever.
And it's
if
practical.
I got that thing cleared up, but that is a great metaphor for all the other shit, right? What if I did that shadow work? What would that free up for me? What if I did? And it's really that simple, right? What if I just, all that stuff that I've been pushing aside that I didn't touch, what would happen if I did do it?
Yeah. It's also having the capacity now, like even like it's so funny. I would probably say like I was offline until I did like the neurofeedback our last session. I was probably just offline for a couple of weeks. That's how my brain felt. Like I was just, I'm doing my work, I'm doing everything, but I was not in touch with it the way that I am right now after doing the last session that we did, right? But it was also because my capacity to hold things, right, becomes much more greater after doing like the neurofeedback and the energy. Like I can hold more things at once. Like when I was out for the 2 weeks with my jaw hurt, I couldn't function. I couldn't do anything for anybody, could not help anybody. And then as soon as we get back into it and started doing the proper protocol that I actually needed, then I could do everything. I'm doing like 50 calls and everything. I literally had the bank saying to me, they're like, you do work that will require 40 of us. And I'm like, oh, so no wonder I'm tired. No wonder I'm exhausted. No wonder I feel down on myself because I have to do so much work, but I don't have the full capacity to keep doing the work mentally. Like I can keep physically throwing myself through it, but I am not actually doing this work where I'm like sitting down and I can hold it intensively and properly. So then adding the neurofeedback and having my brain like just organized a little bit. Like I said, it just feels like I'm back online. Where it's like, oh, okay, like I can hold this here and not break here by holding this. Because now I can hold many things at once. I can't hold everything, but it allows me to hold a lot more. It does.
Now let's look at it from a universal standpoint, right? Okay, so me as an individual, I don't know how to do A, B, and C because I've never been trained in that area, or I've never gone to school for it, or I don't have a natural capability of doing certain things because of whatever disability or in whatever, it could be anything, right? I can go in, realize who I actually am, which I am the universe itself, and say, you know what, in this time in this time and space, there is no AI, right? For me to get the things that I need to get done, I may need that certain technology to express my creativity or my certain skills on that level, but we don't have anything like that yet. Well, you know what? Let me tune into the ground of all being of what I actually am and manifest that. So that someone on the universe, on this planet, not even the entire universe, just one person or a few people on this planet will think of the idea, bring it into fruition, and make it happen, so that I can do the things that I need to do as an individual, as Morgan, right? Because AI and every technology that's here, we're doing it.
Yep.
We created it,
Yes.
right? Manifested it within a team of people, one person, a team of people, or an evolution of people as time went on, as they develop on the technology, but you created it, right? You can have the realization of manifesting that into existence so that you as an individual can have access to that technology to do what you need to do as an individual. This is how big
so
this is in terms of what your mind can do. And your mind's always been doing.
It's really good.
Right? Every technology is on this planet, you created it.
Remember the medley app that I was using when I told you I started first making music? I couldn't go into a studio to record. I didn't trust anybody. I didn't believe any of these motherfuckers. They're all creeps. I don't believe these people.
I can imagine, right?
Yeah, and trying. And it's like, you gotta tell Diddy no. So this is like, I could not spiritually get started with anybody musically. I remember like singing with my brother, and I said to him, like, I don't know what to do. He's like, just use the voice note on your phone and just start recording yourself. right? And then I'm like, I'll do one better because I don't like you. So I got to find something better than what you just told me to do because I don't take advice from you. I take what you say and then make it better. So it's just our relationship. He's a Libra. I'm an Aries. Like, it's just going to be a given. But so I looked it up. I looked up voice recorder on the phone, and there was an app called Medley. And then these two guys in Kitchener in 2011 made an app to make your own ringtones, but the app has the capacity to record your songs. So I jimmied their app and started making full productions on the app. And then I came out with 50 songs in a month, and then I had a glitch. And then I'm just like, oh no. And I reach out to the owners and I'm like, I have a glitch with a song. If you don't fix it, I'll delete the song. He's like, please don't. Like, nobody's ever used our app for this purpose before. And he's like, I'm actually extremely intrigued by seeing like what you're doing here. Because I took all, like literally every layer of it. But it wasn't available to me until I decided that I needed to do that. And there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing that. And then the tools revealed themselves. And now like I have like 300 songs. Right. And now I do go to the studio sometimes, and I had the capacity to go to the studio, but safety had to come in place. I couldn't even go to the studio until first few times I went to the studio. I even had an incident when I went to the studio and I got assaulted, right? So when my first times trying to go back to the studio after making my own music, and I was pissed. I'm like, how does this happen? Like, I could produce for myself. I don't need anything from y'all niggas, but someone still got access to me to harm me, right? But I was like, what the heck? But then when I started to be with my man, he goes to the studio because he's an artist, and he was looking for a studio to record at. So then we just would test out different studios. And then I brought him to my boy's studio, JD Era. And like Era kept trying to convince me to record at his studio. And then I didn't believe the engineer, Mike, at the time had the ability to do it. And I was being a dick to him. Now he's my like main engineer, like literally, because everyone in there, he's humble enough to let them work with him, and he'll build with them, and he'll be right and he'll be wrong, and he's okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with being wrong for anything. My last name is right. Like, don't make me uncomfortable in this wrong right now. I want to be good at this. So it was very difficult for me to be humble with it. But then he sat with me for one of my birthdays with my homegirl Camilla. She's Auntie Killa, like on the thing. And they both literally sat with me in the thing. We listened to all the music, my music for 4 hours, not making anything, but just my music. And then like Mike said, I know your style now and I can respect it enough that I can help you. And I'm like, ooh, really? And then we tried it and we've been able to work together since. But I just didn't have that safety. I never had that safety net yet, but now I have the safety and now the wherewithal to actually do it.
When did you start to have that relationship?
That would be about 2021. Yeah, 2021.
So relationships are important because there's things that I probably want to get done, but I can't get it done because this person is just being hard-headed or whatever the case is. And I was like, man, I could get so much work done if I was able to work with you, but I can't because you have this block.
Yeah.
And we just can't get past this hurdle.
Yeah. There's some people like I have some people with artists in particular. I have people that have been working on my beats for 4 years. Like they've had it forever. And for me, I would get it and I'd be done the song right now and it would be out and it would be part of my catalog. But for them, they're just like, okay, so let's listen to it again. And I'm like, you've listened to it 1,233 times in the last 4 years and you've not dropped it. Like, what are you doing with yourself? Like, well, we're perfecting.
Nothing should take that long.
Nothing should take that long. Nothing. But like, I've worked with so many creatives that are like that. And it taught me, like, there's some people I know that have been in the game and they're in their 40s. Okay. Some of them are in their 50s now. They've been doing music forever and they still work with that ethic. And I'm like, you can't work.
Maybe they just haven't tapped into like a certain state. Like, how are you actively working on it? It's not great. I understand if you're not touching it.
I'll tell you what it is right now. And it's something I learned from painting. And this only happened Like this is why like I feel like creativity should come in stages. And that's why like I want to teach children about it. You should learn how to paint first. That should be the first thing you do. Because when you learn to paint, you learn to actually do something to its best of its ability and then let it go. Or else it will never be done. So when you have painting, you have to learn how to do that. Musicians never learn that. You know, it's very few that you actually meet musicians that understand that something's finished. For me, I could go into a session, I record 11 to 12 songs, but I'm recording it and it could take me 10 minutes to 30 minutes to record it. I'm done it by the time I'm done because I knew how it was supposed to sound and how I needed to feel. So when the engineer works on it, he works on it live time and he does the mix. And by the time I'm done recording, he's done mixing and mastering. My song's done. I don't need to work on it anymore. It's a point in time. If I need to work on a song more, I'll remaster it. Right? I have that understanding. A lot of people are just like, no, I gotta just tweak it here. You gotta fix it here. It doesn't sound the same without the work. I've had so many people tell me that. Like, it doesn't sound the same without the engineer. I have shown these exact same people music that no engineer was on. They thought an engineer was on it. Can't tell the difference. I show them songs with an engineer. They're like, oh, this doesn't sound mixed. So like people have their own like oral type of perception in the first place. But like it's definitely
There's a Destiny's Child song that the father admitted that it was never mixed. Holy shit, this song was a huge hit. No one ever questioned the mix.
The No No No.
Was it No No No?
Or was it the Bills Bills Bills? Because I know both of those
No
are
No
not
No or
mixed.
Bills Bills Bills. One of those songs on that album.
Both of those
wasn't mixed. They just put it out there as it was. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really a subjective thing to some degree. Mixing is important, but it is subjective to some degree where it's like, and there's so many different versions of a mix. If I gave the same post-production to 100 engineers, I'm going to get 100 different results. There isn't no right way to mix a song. You know what I mean? So
I didn't even know that I was mixing until Jungle Flower told me to, that I was. Like I had sent my first few songs that I made. I'm like, oh, check these out. What do you think? And I hadn't shown her any music. And she's just like, did you mix and master these? And I'm like, no, I made it on my phone. And she's like, what the hell? Like you made this on your phone? And she's just like, it's fully done. And I'm like, no, it's not.
It's fully mixed.
I'm like, it's not done. And she's like, it has the different voice effects. I can hear the high pitch. I can hear the lows. I can hear like the. I'm like, yeah, I did that. I blended it. And she's like, that's mixed and mastered.
That's mixing.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
I don't know if I have like that music brain to like accept all of that. But when I first heard your music, it just sounded like futuristic. Not like only futuristic, but like it had that effect. Like it felt from an event, like a different timeline almost.
And it should have that effect on people who may not be musically inclined in that way. Right? It should be, because it's the professional who does that work every day who can be able to decipher things like whatever. Because it's like me being a stand-up comedian back in the day. I don't go out of my way to watch stand-up comedy anymore because I know all the mechanics behind it.
Yeah.
It kind of ruins the fun for me.
Yeah.
Even if I laugh really, really hard, I know how he got to that.
Yeah.
The average person doesn't.
Yeah, Denzel doesn't watch movies.
Yeah. It's too much. It's just like, I know the mechanics.
I can't listen to other people's music as much. I can listen to my friends' music.
A whole different genre of something for me to. I have to be totally out of it. You know what I mean? So
I can listen to his music, but I can't listen to somebody else's music.
Starting to get like that with astrology, all the
because you're your own source now.
Yeah, not only am I my own source, but sometimes I'm like, even with myself, I don't want to look at it every day.
You become a critic of other people's work because there's a way that you want it. You're biased. There's a way that you want to see it being formed and done, and if you don't see it in any way that resonates with the way how you see the world through that medium, it's like, you know what, I don't need to be around for this. Do what you do, but I don't need to be around for this because you know I'm not the right audience member.
Yeah. That's so true. Because you know what the thing is like
critical. I'm like a skeptic.
That's
I want to keep going till I get to like what I perceive as the truth. I know it's not the ultimate truth, but I'm like, it has to have a certain like a certain standard of like clarity within it for me.
Yeah, it should meet certain standards to say that okay, it's in my level of in my category of things. So it should meet a certain standard. And again, it doesn't mean that standard is a right standard. It
just
could
your
be so
preferred.
many out of many,
Yeah.
but it should meet how I, on some level, how I see reality, how I see the.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so cool.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, because I can't listen to the radio. I can't like
Yeah, it's hard for me.
someone turn on the radio and I'm just like, the song's about suicide. Clive Davis owns it. This song is about alcohol. Clive Davis owns it. This song is about suicide and also beating your wife. Irv Gotti used to own it. Now Clive Davis owns it.
Oh my goodness.
Like my brain, I can't function. I know exactly who the money's going to.
That's on your mind.
I know who the money's going to. I know the frequency in the story. Like it's either suicide or stalking. Notice that radio, drugs, stalking, suicide, or domestic violence. That's all the songs are about. Or move, bitch, get up for traffic. That's it. Like these are the frequencies that are moving people, and me, I'm just like, I can't operate like that. And then on top of it, I'm going to be thinking to myself, oh my God, this motherfucker killed this motherfucker to get their royalties. So like that's the whole thing. Like I can't listen to music like that. I like hear a Whitney Houston song. I'll hear a Whitney Houston song and I'll be like, damn, Ray J, I know what you and Clive Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, you know too much. And when you have too much, that much information, it's hard for you to be the audience member.
Yeah.
Right? Because even after just learning things about wealth and whatever, I'm breaking things down on that level now. Yeah. So everything I see is like, so bringing it down from that level because it's, you know what I mean? It's because really, you become known to a new reality of something that you didn't know before. So before you knew it, it was magical. Yeah. Now that you know, it's no longer magical.
Yeah, it's practical. That's what I'm saying with astrology. Like,
it's practical.
It's so practical. It's just a clock, and we're looking at it like, okay, I'm going to give you this magic solution to your problem. I can't. This is what it is. Yep. You can choose a response to it.
There's many ways that it can manifest. Yeah. But the thing is it's almost like an equation at the end of the day of what could come out of it. I can't look at somebody's chart and be like, this is going to happen to you for sure. But I've definitely been able to look at people's chart. One person in particular, I met one of my good friends, Taylor. I looked at her chart. We did like a reading and everything. It was like around the time that Dre died. And so like, she was manager of the dispensary. Didn't meet her or anything, didn't have any information about her. And I said, like, okay, so you're a leader. Like you lead people. You probably have a smaller group of people that you lead, and you're very good at finance, you're very good at promotion. And come find out she's like the head manager. She's the one that created the promotion there that gets millions of dollars every single day. Like just that. Another person, I read their chart and I'm like, 12th house. Okay, your sun's in the 12th house, your Mercury's in the 12th house, but it's in Capricorn. Are you a fireman? And that's why I asked him, and he's like, I am a fireman. He's like, how did you know? And I'm like, it's math. Because like I'm looking at it, is like your sun, everything in you is self-sacrificing. So you look like someone that would run into a burning building. Like, so chances are you run into a burning building, don't you? And he's like, I do run into burning buildings. But it's just the math of it, right? And it's just pattern recognition. Yeah. It's not like something psychic. And literally for myself, I did my own chart. And then I realized I'm like, everything's pointing towards the 5th house, the 8th house, the 10th house, and the 9th house. Okay. So if I do that, and the 11th house, if I do that and I work with those energies, then I'm good. And I did. And it worked. It really worked. I still like look at it. I'm like, I literally named my label 5th house of creativity after my Saturn. Yep.
Makes sense now.
Yep. And they say Saturn rewards you. Saturn rewards you.
Gotta show up for the work.
Yep. And so right before my Saturn return in 2019, I got incorporated this record label called 5th House of Creativity to celebrate Saturn and say, hey, I heard you're going to put me through a hard time for the next few years. I'm your friend. Like, I'll do whatever you tell me to. I listen. And I just did. I always felt like this urgency. Even when I was doing the AI work, I was like, it's this feeling of like, I have to do this. For some reason, I need 200,000 images. I don't know why, but I have to have them. And fast forward to now.
Reminds me of like Bashard's method of like acting on your heart. You don't always know what that decision, it may seem like a micro decision, but it leads to way more beyond it.
Exactly.
I made these sweat tops 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. I made up an imaginary clothing line that I was never ever gonna run, and I just made the stuff for myself.
Yeah.
After going all this stuff with Nita, I'm like, hold up a sec. That same imaginary clothing line, why don't I just make it into a real thing then?
Yeah.
Right. Have other people run it.
Yeah.
But I just don't have a passion to do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I always had the idea of like having my own shit that, because it says Prabhupada. Okay. So it's saying God in Hindi, in Hinduism, right? This is Sanskrit. Yeah. So I have a passion for it on that level, but I never had a passion to sell stuff on the street.
I'd rather have Sanskrit on me than Nike.
I'd rather have it on me than buying somebody else's stuff. And, you know what I mean? Not knowing what their intention was when they did it.
And like this, right? I'm like, this itself is like that logo, and I'm like, this, like, I really do wear these with like intention. And the move for my aura ones, like those are my armor, like protect me.
I wear those to court.
I've had so many people. I remember specifically, there's like certain times, like I have enough of them, different colors, but there's certain times where like I would be like, what is this on your shirt? Sometimes he'll completely go over his head, and other times he was reading it, and it's just like, this sigil is doing its spell. Like,
remember,
like it speaks for itself.
Remember when you gave me the advice for to do the sigil, and I did the REM album cover as a whole like sigil, and that was like I haven't done an album since that project because that was when I reached the 300 mark. So I was like, I don't need to do music for now. Like, I'll keep my stuff and I'll release it when I feel like releasing it. But I'm like, once you reach 300, you don't really have to keep working that hard. So, but literally, like that whole REM thing, the whole album did amazing. Like everything that I put into that sigil just happened. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Like I put everything into it.
I love it. And I feel like I was like, as it release, because a lot of your other music was like already circulating, right? And sometimes I'll like get on like my shuffle, and I keep thinking, by the way, like I can't stand Spotify because like I like the mechanism of how it shuffles and how my playlists, but I'm like, they're ripping me off. It's so annoying how they're ripping me off. And then you told me more about how they're ripping, like really ripping people off. Like we need our own music platform.
My platform is called Amma Play Nice.
Amma Play Nice? Okay, proper. I'm gonna have that on my phone.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, so I would have to then like put all the other things out of business then if I create this model, because it would be the best model for a streaming platform. So of course it will put the other ones out of business. So I'm like, I play nice. So I'm like, I'ma play nice. I play very nice.
I'ma play nice, like entendres. I love it.
Yeah. So it's like the pay to play song that I have.
Sorry, I'm just like, like nice etymology of nice is foolish, but you're like fool, so you're fool, just like zero.
So I love that.
Something with 0 points.
I love that because like even like when the Gridlock ones that I have, JoJo Dancer's Gridlock, JoJo Dancer is literally a Richard Pryor movie about his life, where he was like trafficked and stuff as a kid in the brothel from his parents. He made a joke of it all though, right? But JoJo Dancer is literally like just that energy. But he also has another movie called Brewster's Millions. So like I wanted to just encapsulate that whole Richard Pryor energy into that, right? Because one of the things was like in Brewster Millions, he's supposed to waste like 20 million or something like that, and he has to be done with it with no assets or anything, and he has to wipe it out so he could get an inheritance of 200 million. And he finds how difficult it is to get rid of this 20 million because people keep trying to help him, trying to raise the money up and stuff like that. And he can't tell anyone what he's going through, right? He can't tell anybody, but like it's all this stuff that's such a battle. And it really taught me like there is a certain point of money and wealth that a person can get to that is so insurmountable they can't reverse it, right? And you can only make more after that. So once I learned that, I'm like, And then what made me use it for the gridlock was because Zuckerberg, he kept saying, "Oh, no one can afford that. No one can afford that." Like for the AI data centers. I was like, "What do you mean no one can afford that?" Like that just means that he does not know how to use the money that he has and the wealth that he has at that point. Because if you're saying that no one can afford to update the electrical grid before you guys put a data center in there and kill off a bunch of people, it tells me that you don't know what you're doing or you don't care to know what you're doing.
Right? He may have also said it, and as he said it, he's like, "Oh shit, there is a way that I could do it. I already put the energy out there. Oh well." I fucked up. I'll try to remember this for next time.
You like it's so funny because like I literally
never asked the question before.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have the right answer.
Like you don't go into things just automatically stating that you know. You have to ask, like,
I strongly believe that almost everything is possible. So like just because I have that belief system in me, like it's like not a lot of people can show me otherwise because I've seen a lot. I'm just like, look, I've seen some things. I've seen the positive and I've seen the negative of everything. And the thing is like even in this time period, a lot of people right now, they're very like just creeped out by how wealth or well, their idea of wealth and money works, you know, because they're like being more exposed to like what people were doing behind the scenes and like people that they suggest are people in power, right? My email. You know, like, I don't know what she's going to do next. Is she going to work with Ben and Jerry's? Oh my gosh, where Jerry like quit. Jerry quit. Okay.
Oh, I feel like you told me this, but remind me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I emailed Ben and Jerry's last August. I gave them a offer called Super TT. Super TT is like basically like a flavor, like it has horchata, it has maca, it has like all types of flavors in it, right? But it's a vegan ice cream that's nut free, right?
Oh, nut free. That's simple.
And so it was going to be dedicated and dates as well. So it would be dedicated to Palestine. So that was my offer. And so then they emailed me back. Jared gave me his personal email and said, like, I don't really answer to this thing. Reach out to me on this, right? And their assistants reach out to me. 2 weeks after, okay? 2 weeks, Jared quit. So let's do that. The 2 week notice. So I give my proposal. It gets rejected because it's for Palestine. He quit. And so now they have a Palestine flavor of the watermelon thing that they were doing, right? Yeah. And they said the reason why they have to make this flavor themselves is because their Unilever wasn't going, their owner, Unilever, was not going to let them do the flavor. So they're going to do their own, but they had to make their own flavor for it, which is the watermelon thing, which is fine. I actually don't, like, I don't mind. I still have the Super TT asset. So I'm not really bothered by that. But it was very interesting to me that I was like, wait a second. Like I emailed you. You said, I don't really talk to these people. Take this email. And then 2 weeks later, you quit. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, snap. So these guys actually, I started to notice this when you're at that scale as well, like being a Ben and a Jerry, you might not be able to communicate because of your contracts. So how do you communicate with people? So what you do with going to the media, put my job on the media and say what's happening to the media. And I'll speak through the media because I can't speak directly like this, but I can let you know certain moves through the media. So once I kind of like realized that, I'm like, oh snap, they're talking to me through the beef that they're having on this thing. So then I started to like email them on particular days to align with it. So yeah, very interesting. Well, the Super TT flavor are very, very interesting to me because I'm just like, okay, like I can use that flavor for anything. Like it's a very unique flavor, dates, maca, and horchata, very unique. Not a lot of people know about those three things can be put together in the first place, right? So just and also like I have different ones that I was offering, but I was like, I could keep all of my ice cream assets. I have Bloom Cream, so many different like ice cream assets and stuff. So.
For like ice cream, but there's so many like combos of flavors that I think of. And like what was it the other day? I wrote down for with like cardamom and rose and maybe cinnamon.
Ooh, that would be so good.
Yeah, and I got the idea because I've been playing this game called Township on my phone, and I don't play games. I'll tell you, since I was a kid, maybe Mario Kart would have been the last thing I played. I don't play games. I found them to be trivial, not for other people, just me. I'm like, I don't have the patience. It's a waste of my time. But for some reason, I was like,
into that game.
yeah, and it's like building the town and overseeing things, and I realized how
that.
like all the ingredients go into like creating, and you need to like manage multiple. I was like, this is really interesting. The time that there's a reason I was drawn to it.
Yeah.
And there was like jam, and I'm like, there's some like strange thing. There's some strange like things that are like, that you create in the factories, and I was like, I could do stuff better than this. So
it's really amazing because like all those flavors, like you can put the recipe books for it and stuff like that. I have the asset for 2,222 recipes. So like we can add recipes into the book and stuff. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and then I can credit to you and license it, the flavor from you. Because when you create the flavor is an asset, and I can then use that and license that flavor from you.
And it can be applied to different things.
Absolutely, it can be applied to so many stuff. Like once it's like it's funny because doing an ingredient is probably the biggest example of how the system works in the first place. Is you take something that's the idea, the pieces, and then we can just execute across the whole thing. Like Morgan's books, his like the music, the neural feedback, everything goes across all the layers and it gets licensed from him. But actually having a place to put it is the most important thing. And like now we're finally going to be in that space where we have all these different places to put it, and even making the flavors and stuff like that. So like if you have distinct flavors that you're thinking of, and we now have to look at the 58 estates, we say, oh, where can we grow that?
Yeah.
So that's the most helpful thing, because once we realize, oh, we can grow that here.
Yeah.
The farm in Peru or something like that. Like we could put that there, but understanding like, okay, I want to work with these ingredients. I want to work with these things. I had to figure out the dates. Like I'm like, okay, Cyprus, I guess for now, we use for dates. So I'm like, okay, let's use that. But to have the idea down, to formalize it, shows how accessible it is. And like most people, especially like rich people, when they come up with their ideas, they don't even have full ideas that they bring to the table to access the funding that they do. You're coming with full knowledge, full execution.
Because it's from the ingredients, like the whole concept.
Because those ingredients gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. And then now we got to figure out, after we get it from somewhere, who are we going to feed it all to? So now it's got to go into my grocery stores. Now it's got to go into the different restaurants and everything.
Like with herbs, like I was sourcing from like one herb supplier, but I know that they get their herbs from different places. So I'm like, this is international, right? But then I'm like, okay, so I switched suppliers a few times, and there's like one supplier, like they state that they're organic and wildcrafted, and they have direct relationship to them. There's a small business that's the crystal business, and that owner, she directly is in contact with the supplier. She's not going to the gem shows. She actually knows where they're being sourced, knows that there's no harm being done to the locals in the areas. So like there's certain like tidbits on consideration for that. But like you're saying, like even just being able to know like what regions we can grow things directly and be in relationship to that. And I feel like there's gonna be some consulting. I could be, I don't know, this may not be the right solution, but I'm just thinking of like consulting people that know agriculture, but like more permaculture, or like those that are maybe from that land. Like
that's the biggest part though, is like we can't, all we can do is have the assumptions of how it would work there. But when we actually put foot to ground, we actually have to go into the town, look for the farmers. That's like the most important thing to do, because those people that are local to there, not only are we just redistributing it back to them, right? They're the expert.
Yeah.
They're literally the expert. So it's like better to just go directly to the expert. Even when it comes down to, like, for some of the estates, we're going to be putting gigantic crystal towers in them, right? The only ethical way to do that is then I have to go say, okay, well, these crystals come from this country. chances are one of those local people that miners that extracted it has a giant crystal that he hasn't been able to sell for $2 million sitting off to the side. Instead of pulling it from earth, I'll just go to that guy.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of resources when you actually start to like tap into the locals. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't have to keep mining, like especially so much has already been mined.
Yeah, we actually don't have to keep mining. And like I was like, when I was doing the research for a lot of these miners, they find these huge crystals and can't find anyone to buy them. Like I saw this gigantic 2 amethyst for 10 million.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no one will buy them. Why?
They don't have no money.
What's the money for?
Yeah, they have no money.
Massive.
Yeah, you know what the thing is like when you start to like kind of like see more like how the scope of things like works a little bit is you'll start to notice that certain things aren't bought because they made it in high hopes that somebody would have the money. They just didn't know who, right? So like even when you look at like the one mansion in the States, that guy, he went ahead and made all these luxury mansions, right? And then all his buyers were Saudi. And then they decide they're not going to come to the United States. All his buyers for his $100 million houses that he poured everything into didn't want them. So he put everything into these houses. And for me, if I was in that situation, then I would just use the estates. But not a lot of people have that wherewithal and that knowledge to even do that, or the assets to leverage an estate like that, right? I have music, so I can run my music through any house, right? So most people, they just don't have that, like in the first place. But yeah, no, like the thing is like you will find so many people created things for a wealthy individual, but they didn't know a wealthy individual when they made it. So now it's just sitting there.
Sits there.
Yeah, and it sits there and it's waiting for that guy to come around that actually has the money for it. And that's why, like, a lot of times when we look at the estates and everything that we want, once a house gets beyond 5 million, even 2 million, it's most of the time going to sit. It's going to sit for quite some time, you know? And it's just the simple fact now a lot of people have a lot of money and we're taught that everybody has all this money, all this wealth and everything like that, but it's not actually like that in the first place. Oh my goodness.
Family that has a whole documentary on murder. Okay. I just had to catch up. I had to play catch up because I was like, I swear that's the same family.
Yeah, the Murdoch family, they're very famous family. And like apparently, like the thing was they were all like two of the brothers apparently they were sitting there and they were watching the TV show Succession, and then it dawned on them that it was about them. And like as they're watching it, they're like, wait a second, our dad didn't do this. He did not put this in place for us at all. So then it dawned on them after watching that there was no succession. So they realized, like, oh my God, if he dies, we're screwed.
Like most people do, because they think that the child is fresh in this world and they're not going to know. And so it really is like, it really is something that their consciousness will absorb it, no matter what we say to them, even if it's not words they articulate just yet. There's like this dad and his son online. They have a page where they do cooking, and from he was like, I don't know what age, but he was young but still old enough to use like a little plastic knife and start prepping things in the kitchen.
Oh, that's so cute.
And he talks full sentences and
it's so good.
Very coherent with his son, and like as he matured to like 3-4 years old, I could see like he's so eloquent in his articulation. He's way more advanced than just some people in their adult life. He has that creative mind of a child that's unhindered as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I was like, oh, I taught you a word. I'd be screaming that at people. Like I was like, that's arbitrary.
How can I say that? I was saying like the questions my dad was asking, like I'm like, this is elementary. I'm like, these aren't like questions that I even want to answer.
But like arbitrary just means like you're throwing everything at it and hoping something will stick, right?
Yeah.
That's what arbitrary is. So it's like you're just throwing everything into this and you didn't even make it make sense. Like, don't start with me. I can't make it make sense for you.
Yeah, they were arbitrary questions. That makes sense.
Exactly, right?
That fit.
Yeah, it's so funny because like in law, like people have a lot of stuff, but I've ended up in like quite a few situations where I've had to literally say that. I'm like, this is arbitrary. Yeah, and like it's funny because I think like even the other day when I had to talk to the lawyer, it's literally because of how I talk, like a lot more of like certain people will take me more seriously because I have a different vocabulary than most people. And on top of it, there are some people that go to school, spent years in school, sit down and talk with me, and then their ego shows because they didn't know anything I just said to them. And I'm cool with that too. Like at least now I taught you to go back to school. Go back to school. Don't be mad at me.
It's also a weapon, tool or a weapon. It's like, you know, you can reflect things back at people, and they feel inadequate. They're like, oh shit, why does this girl know more than I do when it comes to words? This should be so, especially if you challenge her belief systems. She's a person of color.
Really proud of me because I was explaining to him, I'm just like, I want to give a town a song. I don't know how to do that yet. Right. And so he's just like, that's governance. What you're craving in your life is governance. So basically, I can go and give a song the royalties.
Oh, you mean
like the town royalties of a song, right? And they can use it as an anthem. And when they do that, then it becomes an asset, and then they can use it and take all the money that it generates. So they can play it like an anthem every morning. Like when I was a kid, we had a principal. He told us that we were so disrespectful. He's going to play respect for us every morning until we gain respect. He played that song for like 14 years. Okay. Like this, they played like they even played the song when he left. Okay. That's how disrespectful we were. It was like R-E-S-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. That every morning, like right. And I don't even stand for the anthem. And so it's funny because he knows I don't stand for the anthem, but I would stand for Rita. So it was like, I'll do this, right? But it was every single day. And then it always sat with me. And I'm just like, I wonder how much royalties the Aretha State's getting from this school. Like that's what I would always wonder when I was a kid. And everyone's like, that's not a healthy thought to have. It was like, whatever. But then I said to myself, I'm like, I want to give a school an anthem. I want to give hundreds of schools anthems. I want to give towns anthems, and then they can use the royalties. And that was always like my just main goal, but I didn't know how to do it. So then when I was talking to the elder, he said that's how it used to work. He said music is governance. And what happened is if you need to go to another tribe and deal with that tribe, you'd have to bring them some songs or stories. So if you didn't do that, then you didn't have access to anything. It was never based on money. There was no money. It was how many stories and how much truth and how much music can you bring over? How much language can you provide? Those were the assets, right? So that's true governance. So once he explained that to me, I was like, oh, my music can become governance for these different towns. And then I said, okay, for Oklahoma, Nova Scotia, just give a town a song, right? And then we actually sat down and we really did the numbers, and it was 72 million a month that each town can get off of one song. So like we've done the numbers for it. We now know it can work, and we can definitely do it. But it's something that just needs to be figured out, you know. But it was a real craving. It was like, okay, I don't know why my ancestors keep telling me this. And he was surprised because I told him I'm a song keeper. And in indigenous teachings, a song keeper is a person that somebody else, like an elder, taught them the songs, and then they just walk with it. And I'm like, no, I'm a song keeper. He's like, who teaches you songs? I'm like, I learned it from the other side, and then I come back after my dreams. And he's like, no.
Like, don't you find that also, like, certain people, they'll be in your life and then they level up? Because that's happened to me. And I'm like, fuck, you level up just as soon as you started getting close to me. And then they talk some smack about me. I'm just like, only you knew.
Well, and that also comes into the role of destiny swapping, right? Because some people can come in and see that.
But I can't condone that.
Well, that's the whole thing, is like Destiny's Child, right?
Yeah.
Why did that have to come into play at the point in time with Aaliyah? There's certain things about that, right? So you have to like realize destiny swapping is a very real reality. You don't have to engage with it, but it is something that people do. And there are people that could, especially people that are versed in those types of things, especially like Orisha and stuff like that. They're very well versed in that kind of stuff, right? And hoodoo, they're very well versed in it. But they even know like someone could just come into your path and just seem like a friend, just seem like that. But the energy that they're taking is the energy of your path. You know, they can't fully derail you, but they could definitely put you on like a little bit of a wait time, right? So you kind of just have to be careful for the people that are seemingly upgrading in your presence and there's no reciprocity for you.
So like even if they're not consciously doing that.
A lot of people don't even consciously do it. A lot of people don't even know that you can even do that in the first place. But some people, like with kids, one of the greatest things that kids show you is how jealousy really looks. You know, we suck at it as adults. We don't really gauge it too much when someone's jealous of what's going on. But kids, they show you what jealousy looks like. You ever see a kid and like, yeah, girl has my candy.
This came up in conversation the other day. Yeah. And I saw a full adult person that was a friend like actually show that childlike jealousy once, but it was really interesting. That the relationship didn't stay, but it was quite interesting how it happened.
That's really interesting. See?
Yeah, because I've always had that with friends growing up. I didn't used to see it, but when my mom would see it, she'd be like, "Oh, this person, they're not happy for you, or they're jealous of something in you."
And what energy do you think that exudes? Like that, it's a frequency still, but what do you think it exudes, and what do you think it does on an energetic level if you are less susceptible to that person? Right? A lot of us, it's not the fact that we are weak. It's not the fact that we're lesser than. It is the fact that sometimes we can be susceptible. Like if I go ahead and you're holding a bunch of things right now and I toss something at you, I bet you're going to get hit. But if your hands weren't full at the time, you might not get hit. You might catch it, right? But that's how like certain frequencies can get at you, right? Is because your hands are kind of full of a few things and someone just dashed something at you, right?